Python Basics variables. In this video we're going to look at what is a variable and talk about that. I'm going to talk about the three basic types of variables that we'll work with, those being numeric variables, string variables and boolean variables. We'll have a look at the difference between those and what they can hold. We'll talk about variable names and some conventions around our names that we should use for variables and ways we should go about those. We'll have a look at the difference between the add and the concatenate function of the plus operator, the addition operator, and how that works differently depending on the type of variables we're working with. And lastly, we'll have a look at how we can capture user input and put those into our variables for our programs to make use of. So firstly, having a look at what a variable actually is, there's a couple of metaphors here that we can use. One is that a variable stores some value. That might be a number, it might be some text, and we create a label, and it's like applying a name tag to that value so that we can have a nice, friendly, easy to remember name that we can use to call that value when we want to make use of it. And the name, as the name variable implies, we can change the value that label is applied to. So that same name can take on different values as our program executes. The other metaphor is that of a bucket or a container, which we label with some name, and then some piece of data or some value we can put inside that bucket to store it. And we can access that piece of data using the name that we've applied to the bucket. And like any bucket or container, we can tip it upside down, metaphorically, tip it upside down, get rid of what it's currently storing, and replace those contents with some other value. Okay, so we have a look now at writing some Python code. If I create a variable and I just call that variable A, and I'm going to say my variable is going to store the value of 7. So A is equal to 7. I'm creating a variable that I'm labeling A, I'm giving it the name A, and I'm putting the value of 7 inside of it. That is a numeric variable because it's storing a number, fairly obviously. That's one of our types of variables. The other type of variable, the next type we'll have a look at, is a string variable. So if I create a variable called first name, that's the label I'm giving my variable, and I'm going to store inside that variable the name Harry. Notice that I've typed that using quotes because it's a string, it's text. You need to signify that by using quotes, and it doesn't matter if I use single quotes or double quotes, both will work in Python. It doesn't matter which ones I use. We'll look at later on some issues around single and double quotes, but when we're creating our variables and storing strings inside them, I can use either of those two data types. The third variable type that we want to have a look at was called boolean. So if I've got a variable that I'm calling say game over, and I might set that initial value to false. Boolean variables can only have two values inside them, and they are either true or false, and that's it. And they false with a capital F and true or true with a capital T. So if I've got a variable called game over set to false, then I might be using that to allow my game to continue to run until something happens, like I lose all my lives or something. So they are the three types of variables that we can work with: numeric variables, string variables, and boolean variables. So next we'll talk about variable names, and it's very important, the names that we give our variables, and there are some conventions to follow, but there are also some rules to follow that if we don't follow them, they will cause errors in our programs. The first one is to use variable names that give us a clue as to what that data is going to store. So if I've got a numeric variable that's storing, say, the cost of a product, then I might use a variable name called cost so that it's fairly obvious what that variable is going to do. Earlier I used a variable called first name, so maybe if I've got I want to store somebody's middle name, then I might use a variable called middle name to store that string. And notice and that's a meaningful name. It's telling me what the data is going to be used for. Also notice the technique that I've used here. This is a very common technique in variable naming called camel casing, where I've used two different words and run them together, and the second word starts with a capital letter. We normally have variable names in all lowercase letters. Certainly they start with lowercase letters as a bit of a convention. Will work if you don't do that, but the convention is all lowercase letters. And if I want to use multiple words, then I can run those words together and use this camel casing technique. Alternately, I could use a variable name called total cost, and I might use all lowercase letters, but I use a underscore character to separate the words, which leads me to one of the rules, is that your variable names cannot have spaces. That will cause errors in your program, as will, so if I've got a variable that I want to call apples, and I've got, say, 4 apples, I'm storing the value of 4, I can't have numbers at the start of my variables. So if I try apples 2, for instance, that works. I can put a number in my variable name, and that's fine, but I can't put that number at the beginning. You can see here straight away my syntax highlighting, which is my colors, is giving me a clue that I've got a problem here. So if I try and put, say, 1 inside there, I'm going to get what's called a traceback error and telling me that I've got a problem. This doesn't work. And I've actually got a syntax error. I've got some invalid syntax, and that's because my variable names cannot start with numbers. I'm not allowed to do that. I can, however, start my variable name with an underscore character. That will allow me to do that, and that will work. So my rules I really need to remember are using names that are meaningful and give me a clue as to what that variable is going to be used for. All lowercase letters, generally, and starting with lowercase letters. The only situation where I might use uppercase letters is if I'm running multiple words together in camel casing, or I can separate those words with an underscore character. And I can't start my variable names with a number, but I can use numbers elsewhere in the variable name, and I can start with an underscore. So they're essentially the rules for our variable names that we need to remember. So now we're going to move on to some simple things we can do with our variables, and the difference between how numeric variables behave versus how string variables behave. So I can use the addition operator to add my 2 variables, my 2 numeric variables that I've already created here, and I want to add num1 plus num2. And I might just, and I can just add those 2 together and get some output. And I can see that num1 was 3, num2 was 2, 3 plus 2 is going to give me 5. That's a fairly simple mathematical equation. However, if I do the same thing to my first name and last name of variables, I get something that's a little bit different. I get those 2 strings that have just been joined together. And you can see there that there's no space in those names. They've literally just been joined together. I can join together my num1 plus my first name variable as well. And I can try to do that, and I've got an error. The reason for that is that this is a numeric variable, whereas this is a string variable. So you can't just join those together without doing some other things first, and we'll see some of those ways you can actually do that and join those different variable types together later on. But you can't do that without doing some special things. So if I wanted to have those names displaying correctly, if I come back to this example here, I can do that. But so if I create a variable I'm going to call full name, and I'm going to say that that's going to be equal to my first name plus my, I'm going to have a space plus my last name, then, and I decide to then print out full name, I will get my variable printed out with the value of my first name plus the value of my last name and this space that I've included in between the words. So when I'm using the plus operator in a numeric sense, and I'm adding numeric variables, it's very much like you're used to from maths, and I'm using a calculator and I'm going to add those values together. When I apply those things down here to string variables, like here, the plus is not an addition operator in the mathematical sense. It's what we call a concatenation operator. Concatenate means to join together. So when we use the plus operator with strings, we're joining those strings together. And because I didn't have any spaces in my variable names, that's why I didn't get any spaces in my original output. So when I'm working with strings, I need to be aware of that. And there's some things that we can do to make those spaces display. And down here was what I did. I concatenated in a space in between my two variable values so that that would display with a space in the file name. So that's the essential difference between the addition operator when we're working with numeric variables versus working with string variables. And finally, not always will we want to put values directly into our variables. Often we will want the values to store in those variables to come from the users of our program. So the ways that we can do that, so let's say I've got a variable that I'm going to call my name, and I want to ask the user what their name is so that that input can go into the variable. So in Python, I create my variable where I want to store this data, and I'm going to say it's equal to input, which means I want to ask the user for some input, and inside, and I follow that with some brackets, which means I'm going to have a prompt. I'm going to be asking the user for something, and inside that prompt, I'm going to ask them a question. I'm going to say enter your name, and I am going to close my bracket, and then when my program runs, my program is now running here, and I'm being asked the question that I entered inside the brackets up here. And if I type a value of, say, Fred, and that value has now been stored inside my name variable, so that if I try and take a look inside that variable, which I can do by typing the name of the variable and hit enter, I can see that it tells me, having a look inside my name variable, I see that I've got the value of Fred, which is the value that the user supplied when I asked for that input. So using this syntax up here is a way that we can ask the user for input for our program and then store that value in a variable.